All right, here we are again. This is probably a little short here because I've working on one job and it's one part of the truck, and it's just taken forever to get done and get it right. You put the putty on, you sand it off, put it on, sand it off, and it never seems to fill the hole you're trying to fill. All right, let me give you a quick update on how the 34 Chevy truck is coming. Yeah. I can't wait to work on a Volkswagen. All right, here you go. Here's the roof. This thing was so wavy, it looked like to me that somehow somebody's put something on the roof and it's pushed the roof in and then pushed it back out and straightened it. This is before I got the truck. And then it was all along here on the back line, the back roundness of the roof here. It was like this, sort of here and there, because it was bent. The top of the truck was bent down, and that made a hard line through here. And then they pushed it back up and beat on it with a ball peen hammer. And I guess if with the tools they were using to straighten it, they probably did sort of an okay job. But realistically, it was really bad. But probably with the tools that whoever was doing the roof job, it wasn't bad. But it was really wavy and a lot of problems in this area here along the back of the roof. And let's see if I can get it up. Okay, and the bars in here, the roof supports, they were bent down probably 1/4 of an inch. They were sprung, and of course they're welded in both ends because I tried to take them out, but I'd had to drill a whole bunch of welds out, and it was just for a little 2-foot section here. So what I did is I cut these bars. Cut them almost in half. You can see just barely see the welds where I didn't sand too much because I'm putting an overhead in it. You can see the welds, and I cut it in about 4 places and then pushed them back to the roof and then tacked them on the roof, on the top half of the roof. You can see the welds and the spot welds and where I cut them. And that tightened all this up because I couldn't bend it back in shape, and it needed to go back up there to support the roof. And I guess I could have gone through a lot of trouble and cut the welds out, but this was, I thought, was just a little quicker, and it worked fine. So that's where we are here. Sanding this roof this thing is, it looks like just a flat roof, but man, this thing is rounded this way and rounded that way, and it's rounded this way, and it was a lot of sanding, and I had to use just about every tool I had to get it, and a whole lot of paper, and a lot of putty. I put on and sanded off because it was hard to. It was so out of whack that it wasn't, concave this way or concave that way. It was more like this and like this. So it took a lot of doing. I had to beat on it for a long time just to get it to where I could even put putty on it. But you can see it was pitted up. You can see the pits. What I did is I took it out and put some chemicals on it. I sanded it with a hard pad. And then I put some chemicals on it to kill the rust, all the rust stuff. And then I painted it with some really hard paint, some rust protection stuff, probably more like mouse milk than anything else. But it actually had paint on it, except for the places I sanded. You can almost see it. And it was to stop the rust from coming back, if there was any rust. It looked pretty good when I got through putting the chemicals on it. And so here we are. I finally finished it. I mean, I got dust from one end of the shop to the other. I mean, this car, I sort of wanted to keep it clean, but that was a joke. Yeah, covering it up, that didn't do anything. It just came it from underneath. So, and of course, it's at the wrong end of the shop, you know, because I'm working in the back of the shop doing this and doing the body work, and it was too cold to take it outside. So I did it in here. And when you go to clean the shop, I blow the shop out to the door up there, and it blows it right past the car. So there's just not a lot I can do about it right now. So, but it's really going to take some cleaning to get this shop clean enough where I can do some painting in it, because it's almost getting nice enough outside. This is a view outside my window here. And so I can, it's getting warm enough, I think maybe I can do some painting. Get it warm enough in here where I can paint. Here's the cab where I took the roof off, because I got everything lined up pretty good. And everything's fairly straight. I got the other door. I put the doors on, lined it up, and I had the roof on it, and I lined it up with the roof. And then, of course, once I got it all lined and looked like it was going to be okay, you know, I got measurements everywhere. I took the roof back off, of course, and finished it, because I can't finish it up on the truck. That would have been a real bad deal. So when I primer it, I'm going to put it back on the truck and bolt it down for good. And then I'll do my fine tuning. But I found that right here on this wood kit that I needed to run the roof forwards. Probably, I think I've got measurements here, and I think this is a distance, oh shoot, I don't remember where that was from, but I think it might have been from here back to the back of the frame, that measurement. But, well, one of these measurements is the distance from here to here, and I wanted, yeah, from this corner to that corner, and I used it right on the trim. I think you can see my arrow. That's where I measured it from. And I want to keep these exactly the same. And they're not bad. I think these posts, where they're screwed down here, I think they need to be moved like a 1/16 of an inch. One of them does. I think it might have been that post over there. It needs to go that way about a 1/16 of an inch in order to make the distance correct between this, and that tighten that door gap up a little bit. And then up here, I needed to move the roof forwards about 1/4 of an inch, but it has a bracket on the front of the roof that I can't take, I can't move that. So I'm going to take this and cut this back probably 1/4 of an inch, and then put the roof on. That way I can move the roof forwards and get the gap, because it was a little tight up in here where the door was. Let me see, maybe you can see it where this, well, no, I don't have the roof on. What am I doing? Oh, well. Yeah, see, it was tight right in here. So if I move the roof forwards, that has straightened this gap out, because I had plenty back here. The roof was just too far back. All right, well, that's what we're doing. And then I put the back on, just to make things straight, because I got to make this, the whole back of the truck, absolutely straight and where it all needs to be before I go trying to deal with this, because I want to pull this forwards, this whole thing forwards, very little bit, by 1/16 of an inch, but I have to have this fixed in place before I do that, because I'm going to have to torture it forwards, because it's not going to want to go, but it's going to go if I have to, you know, it's a little flexible. I'm going to make it go. But so this is where we are right now. And so I'll get back with you after I do the doors, because the roof's ready to prime, and I'm going to go ahead and grind the snot out of the doors and work on the doors, because this is what the doors look like. So you can see this is all rust here, you know, and they're not terribly bent up, but I've got to kill all that rust. So I'll go out and hit that with some of my rust prohibitive, whatever the hell it's called. I can't even say it now. Stuff to make rust go away. There you go. You know, put some mouse milk on it. And then go ahead and grind the snot out of it, and we'll go from there. So I'll give you all another tour whenever I get something done that's worth looking at. All right, so see you later. I'm tired of eating dust, man. I can't wait till this stuff gets done. All right, bye.